2 years ago, when Jina AI released their first embedding model, it was a real fresh breath of air. They were competing directly with major labs, and their model was even superior. A similar lab was Nomic Embed, which we also have covered on the channel as you can see here. But then, somewhere, I don't know what happened, Jina AI just fizzled out. But the good thing is that they have just released their new embedding model, which is version 5, and what I am reading so far, it is punching above its weight. Maybe because it is based on Quen. Let me tell you all about it, and we will also be installing it locally and testing it out. This is Fahad Mirza, and I welcome you to the channel. Please like the video and subscribe, and consider becoming a member. So, what exactly is this new model? So look, what if you could compress the meaning of an entire document across 119 languages into a single vector or matrix and then slice that vector to any size you need without retraining? That's exactly what this new Jina embedding version 5 text is delivering. This is built on top of Quen 3 zero point 0.6 base and trained through a clever combination of embedding distillation from a much larger 4 billion parameter teacher model and task specific contrastive losses. This V5 text punches well above its weight class. It is outperforming models that are significantly larger on both English and multilingual benchmarks. It supports sequences up to 32K tokens, making it viable for long form documents, code bases, and complex multilingual corpora alike. I will be talking more around its architecture because that is very simple but very interesting. But for now, let's get it installed. I'm going to use this Ubuntu system. As this is a very small model, you don't really need a GPU, but this is the GPU which I have. I'm going to create a virtual environment. If you are looking to rent a CPU, GPU, or VM like me for very affordable price, you can find the link to Mass Compute and videos description with a discount coupon code of 50% for range of GPUs. Also, please follow me on X if you're looking for AI updates without any hype. Okay, let's go back and now let's install all the prerequisites like torch and transformers, the usual suspects. Everything is installed. Now let's download the model and then let me show you a quick overview as what exactly is going to happen. If you look at this code after importing the libraries which we have just installed, loads the model on GPU in bfloat 16, the full precision, encodes the query and documents separately with task specific prompts, then ranks documents by cosine similarity to the query. It's basically a mini search engine in simple words. You give it a question, it reads through all the documents or answers as you can see here. These are the answers or documents and tells you which ones are more relevant to your question, ranked by score. And this is one of those functions which normally you would see in the embedding model scenario. This is a PyTorch library of stateless functions like activations, losses, and distance metrics. This is where we are just borrowing cosine similarity function from it, which we are using here, which measures the angle between two vectors to determine how semantically close they are, returning a score between -1 and 1. The higher the score, the more similar. Let's run this. First time it is going to download the model and then we will see the result here. So I'm just going to run that app.py and the model is being downloaded. You can see it's a very small model. It can even fit onto your CPU easily. And the model has returned the result. Now, if you go back to your code, you see this is the question, what causes inflation? Now look at the scores. Model has very correctly ranked the documents. The first one has scored 0.74, very high match, because it directly explains inflation. The second score is 0.39 as it's related, but only indirectly. And the football result scores nearly 0.0, they're higher than the central bank, which I would say is bit wrong because there is no relevance there. I think this is where it has made some mistake. How about I run it again and we will see what it does. Let's wait for it. I will let it run in front of you so that you would see how long does it take. I might also show you the VRAM consumption shortly. So it's the same result. I think this is not bad. I mean 0.04 or you could say zero point 0.5. It's almost no relevance. I would expect it to be little less, but maybe in the next version, or maybe I'm being too strict with it. Uh, it's not bad. You know, 0.05 is okay, I would say. Okay, so model is pretty accurate as far as you get this result, and then you can, of course, if you are building a real RAG pipeline, you could pass it to your re-ranking stuff. Anyway, let's try out one more example. Next up, I'm doing a very interesting test, which is checking the multilinguality in various world languages, more than 50. So you see what I'm doing here. I am going to give this model the same sentence in various languages. So English sentence is the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. And from there, and this is the anchor, right? So then I have translated this sentence into each and every one of these languages, and you can see they range from Europe to Asia, Africa to Latin America to North America, and then various regional languages across the world, including Southeast Asia and various others. If you don't find your language here, let me know, I will include them. And then what I'm doing, I am just simply converting every sentence into 1024 dimensional vector, which is a list of numbers that capture meaning or semantic. And then I am measuring the cosine similarity, the angle between the English vector and the every other language vector. If two sentences mean the same thing, their vectors should point in roughly the same direction in that high dimensional space, giving a score close to 1. If not, it will be closer to -1 or somewhere in between. The point which you need to remember is that the model was never told explicitly these are translations of each other. That's it. It just learned that meaning transcends language during training. So a high score would prove that the model generally understands semantic, not just keywords. So let's go back and I'm going to run this. While it runs and loads the model, let's also check the VRAM consumption. Doesn't really matter, it is going to, you see it is loading behind. So just 300 meg the model consumed in terms of VRAM. Run it easily on CPU, it just jumps to around 2.72, but really doesn't matter, it easily runs on CPU. So this is the result, and you can see that English is of course scored very high, but the results are genuinely impressive. Most major world languages like French, Spanish, Russian, Japanese, Arabic, Hindi are all scoring between 0.83 to 0.94, which is remarkably high considering they use completely different scripts and grammatical structures. The interesting thing to point out here for you is that if you look here, um, the lowest scores at the bottom, like Hausa, Malagasy, Sinhala, Kurdish, these are low resource languages, meaning the model had less training data for them, so it struggled more. This is, I believe, not a failure. It tells us that the model is stronger on widely spoken languages and weaker on rare ones, which makes total sense. And I'm sure with the passage of time, this is going to improve a lot. So, look, let me know what do you think about your language in this score. But I'm very impressed by this new version, and what makes me more happy is that Jina AI is back with their V5 model, very impressive model. I hope that the Nomic embed also comes back with some cracker like this. That's it. Please like the video and subscribe and consider becoming a member. Please also follow me on X if you're looking for AI updates without any hype. Thank you for all the support.